Vitality program, which is kind of displayed here in the background. So what this is, when GOES transmits, it transmits not only imagery and data, but it transmits something called the EMWIN feed. That's the Emergency Managers Weather Information Network. And it transmits a lot of text every day. Figure about 25,000 texts coming through per day. So it's really hard to scroll through that and figure out what you've got on your screen. So what Jamie did, the author of this this little piece of web software, it's web enabled, that runs on Linux, it'll run on Raspberry Pi. I have it currently running on Windows. If you want to do a port forward, you can forward it out so you can view it over the internet like I did. Right now I'm just using it locally on my local system. And now I receive both GOES 16 and GOES 18. So my configuration is a little different than the standard configuration that comes with GOES Vitality. I like to screw around with stuff, so I added my logo here at the top, and I put a view of the Earth from space in the background, and did some other stuff that I'll talk about. But basically, what it does, and it starts out with the current weather. So for my location, I picked Madison, Wisconsin. I've got local radar here. I got the current weather conditions. I have the weather summary, the forecast for the Madison area, and then a graphical forecast down here at the bottom. And that's one of the first things you can do to set up going into your local settings. Now, if you were to view my feed, this Vitality software, you can change it to what you want. You could change it to your own local weather if you want, leave it that way. You can pick your weather theme for the background. This one's mine. He's got a couple other ones that are on there. It's got purple. The built-in default one is this one. I made another one to because I had somebody who worked at the National Weather Service in the 80s, and he said our stuff wasn't green, it was yellow. So I made him an amber version of it. There's a GOES Assistant one that Jamie has on his site, how you can port that out to work with like a home assistant like Google or maybe Alexa. We'll go back to mine right there, and we'll go back to the current weather. So all this information is coming through a text feed from EMWIN, with obviously the exception of the graphics, which also come through EMWIN, but they do come through as a graphic image. So there's a bunch of different tabs that you can select. I've added a few on mine that aren't, again, in the default one. Like I said, I like to screw around with software, so I added some things to it. This is my full disk page. So what this is doing is presenting full disk imagery that I am receiving from GOES 16. I've got a time lapse. I think this goes last 3 days on mine, so you can view a time lapse from GOES 16. Got another one here. This is GOES 18 from my GOES 18 feed. And I also receive Himawari. There's visible, water vapor, and infrared, along with all the standard kind of imagery, shortwave enhanced, mid-troposphere enhanced, that's water vapor. I use that one quite a bit, actually. Channel 14, the IR views. And we'll go back over here. Then you also have mesoscale. Oh, I should point out, on everything in here, you have the option to set in your preferences to create time lapses. Now, I only do this for a couple just because it's processor intensive and it takes up a lot of space on my drive. So I only do it for a few of these things. I don't do it for mesoscale imagery yet. I'll probably switch that because I kind of like looking at different things. But you get the default, whatever the mesoscale imagery is pointed at, that's what you'll get. Right now, I believe GOES 18 M2 is, whoops, wrong one. There's California. Yeah, it's pointing at Alaska. There's a huge hurricane force low happening right here. It's got some massive pressure drops. They got waves out there in the sea, about 40-foot waves. You also have non-CMIP. What does CMIP mean? That is cloud moisture imagery products. So again, these are streamed as a different band or different API ID through GOES, and you can call those up. Oops. Cloud top heights, drive stability indices, land surface temperatures. Let's see, sea surface temperature. QPE, where did that one go? That one we had a little error with it. NOAA changed some of their settings. Jamie figured out a fixed it, and then NOAA changed theirs back. So now we're back to the default settings. And if you click on anything in there, you can open it up in its own window and zoom in on it as well, which is kind of nice. National Weather Service graphics. These are streamed through the EMWIN feed. Pressure surface analysis. This one is U.S. If you want Caribbean, you can get that. I'll pick one here, random. Northern Pacific. Again, you can click on that, zoom in if you want to get it to full scale. And these come in from the National Weather Service over the EMWIN feed. EMWIN graphics. These are other images and imagery that come through as well. These come in mainly from NOAA, National Weather Service, different quadrants. This is U.S. Northeast, Hawaii radar if you want that, Alaska radar. They're having that storm coming in down here. Close that one down. Let's see. You can also pick up through EMWIN for somebody who wants like the enhanced hurricane basin. That's in there. GOES 13 enhanced. So if you're only receiving GOES 16, but you want to view GOES 18, some of that imagery is streamed through EMWIN, as well as, let's see, Meteosat. So you can click on that and get a view of the Meteosat view of the Earth. That's Meteosat Prime, I believe. Himawari, there's a feed for that. These two are kind of low resolution coming from NOAA. Surface analysis, if you want to take a look at the pressures, hazards, there's all sorts of information here. And let's see, I'm going to skip space weather, because that's a custom one I did. You've got the other EMWIN feed. Oh, there we go. I'm back on. There's an option where you can create your own information. So you go through all these different things and pick what kind of information you want to display on the screen. I kind of found the easiest way, since I live in Wisconsin, is to go down here and pick WI, and then it'll show you what's available. Now I know a couple of the codes, like this one's Green Bay, this one's Milwaukee. This is Milwaukee Sullivan, National Weather Service. That's the one I use. So if I pick Green Bay, it'll kind of give you the different products that the Green Bay office offers over the EMWIN feed. Okay, sorry, I had to step away. Dog was eating one of the shoes. Okay, so there's a way to add additional data. I kind of set mine up so that some of the stuff that I need or would like to see on a daily basis is just a click away. Now, if there is no special weather statement, you'll get a message saying no messages. One feed that comes through out of, I think it's Oklahoma, gives you on this date and weather history. In this case, 2005, a menacing storm came through. There's a page, oops, let's see. There we go. So they also put in past predictions for APT satellites as well. In this case, it is NOAA 19, NOAA 15 is there. I did notice that down here they have the frequency wrong. These obviously have not been updated in a while, so I contacted EMWIN Manager and let them know. And NOAA 18 is no longer there, even though it's in space. They're not putting out the product, so I told them about that. If there's any ops messages, if there's things going that they need to send out to other users, this one, there's a administrative message, model predictions, critical weather outlooks. There's none right now. If there's any space weather messages, for instance, there's a solar storm, radar outages. This one is saying that the KGRR radar is back online. Any administrative alerts from EMWIN, that usually is if there's an issue at the office and someone else is providing backup for it. Regional administration messages, severe storm outlook narrative. I added this one. Close that down. That basically talks out of Norman, Oklahoma, any of the severe storms that are happening in the United States. I'm going to skip I added this one, volcanic eruption and advisories. There's 6 messages on this one, and you can use that bar at the bottom to scroll through, and it'll tell, like, here's one in Guatemala. Milwaukee winter weather warnings. We don't have any right now. Now, these are interesting. Civil emergencies. I've only seen one come across, and that was when they had the tornadoes down in Kentucky. National attack. That one, if you see that one, if there's a message there, yeah, it's a bad thing. Law enforcement warnings. These will come in if they're looking for somebody, say for an Amber Alert, and they also post these as well in the local area emergencies. EMWIN licensing information. This is what you can do with that information. Basically says it's public and you can share it, but you give credit to EMWIN, which is why it's on this page. This one's unique. So GOES also transmits all the weather satellite information, TLEs, and you can download the TLE directly from GOES. I just updated my system so that all my TLAs for like Meteor, NOAA, GK2, anything, Meteosats, NOAA, birds, they all come through the GOES EMWIN feed. Now I'm going to go back a little bit. There's Jamie put on a hurricane center. So if there is tropical activity, this page would be filled full of what hurricane activities are going on. I'm going to jump back up. Now this one is one that I created. I added a subroutine so that I could pull both solar dynamic observatory imagery and GRB SUVI imagery. That's the instrument on GOES that looks at the sun instead of the earth. So I could call up the latest imagery on that. I can run a time lapse for that. This is a 3-day time lapse of the solar imagery. This is a different wavelength. This one's 193. This one's 171 angstroms. Again, you can call up a time lapse on that. And this one's from the Solar Dynamic Observatory. Close that down. Let's see. I've got predictions called up so you can bring in the solar flares that might be heading towards Earth. We're the little green dot there. And this one looks pretty clear right now. Close that window down. Solar wind. This one shows, this is using the magnetometer aboard the satellites. So it gives you the information on the solar wind, the magnetometer, all the information that the AceMag puts out. And then I'll pop into this one for today's aurora forecast. So you can see this is dated 21:15, so that was about an hour ago from when I made the recording, and the probability of the aurora forecast is pretty good, but not for the United States. And then SUVI imagery, different wavelengths, different angstroms. These are combinations of different ones. We had a big flare here just earlier today. It's not Earth directed again. If it was, you would see it pop up in the space weather alert. And that's it for about EMWIN. I encourage you to, oh, got system info too. Now, if you have it on a Linux system or your system's running the processing like Go's processor on your PC or on Linux, it would show more information here because Jamie built in a real slick graphite system to show all the information, your vid averages, your packets lost, anything like that. Since I'm just running mine remotely off a PC, all I'm getting is my basic PC information. And that's about it. Hope you try it. Configuring it is the first part. He's got a pretty good wiki on his page, so I'd recommend taking a look at that and giving it a shot. And that's it. US Radio Guy out.